Hi guys, so today first of all I want to apologize to you for for filming in these conditions of light, which I know are far from ideal with this camera. The image probably won't be very good, but unfortunately lately I haven't had many chances to ride my bike, so this is the opportunity I had, so I had to use it to do the video. Second of all, I want to apologize for doing the video in this road, but as I mentioned before, I haven't had many opportunities to ride, so it has to be on this road. So today I wanted to talk with you about an hobby that I have, which is modeling. Not like posing for pictures modeling, but building miniatures of cars and planes modeling, and radio controlled cars and all that stuff. So for some years I have been doing some radio modeling, which is radio controlled cars, but not the usual radio controlled car from the regular toy store. It's like a proper radio controlled car which is used in some competitions. I started with a completely electric smaller radio controlled car. I think the scale must be 1 to 30 something or 20 something. I don't know the scale exactly, but it's small. It's like this. Probably you don't see it due to the lighting, but I can take my right hand off the throttle, sorry. I'll try to put a picture of the scale or something. Yeah, I will try to put a picture in the video of a scale. So as I was saying, I started with that one. I used it for a while, for some years. Unfortunately, the track which I went closed. I went to another one which also closed, so I was left without a track to drive the car. I never took part in any competition, but I did with those cars. I did regularly practiced. After a while, I bought a 1 to 10 methane fueled car. The car is fueled by nitromethane, and unfortunately that car I haven't used it as much as the other one, mainly due to the running costs, because buying a bottle of fuel with around 1 liter and a half was around 20 euros, so plus the price of the tires, plus which wore out relatively quickly, plus the price of the track usage. The track that where I used to go, they asked for 10 euros for the entire day. So if you arrived in the morning early, or if you arrived at near the closing time, it was the same. You would pay 10 euros for the entire day, and you could run at will, all you want. So the tires also wore out relatively quickly. They used foam tires for the track, and they lasted around, when I asked in the store, they said that they would last for around 1 hour if I was careful, but maybe they could last a little bit longer if I wasn't very aggressive and if the weather wasn't very hot. I don't know. The thing is that I never bought those tires, because the first time I went to the track, I went dumpster diving. There had been some races in the day before, and I found quite a lot of pairs of tires that I could use on my car that were the correct size, and they were still like only half used, because some of the drivers had, for what the persons in the track told me, they had sponsors from modeling stores, and they offered them the tires. So at each race they would have new tires, even if the others were still good to use, but they just wanted to have the best possible grip, so they changed tires. So I never bought those tires, and I'm still using them today. I still have the tires from the first time I went to the track. Unfortunately, I was only able to go around 2 or 3 times to the track, and mainly due to the time, because despite being only me controlling the car, it requires 2 persons to refuel the car and to check the engine temperature. Since those engines are air cooled, you have to be careful with the temperature and adjust the carburetor in order to maintain the temperature and all that stuff. So I had to be more careful. I had to have another person helping me. So that was a difficulty. Besides that, the running costs of the car also did not help, because only the track usage was like double or triple what we paid with the other cars in the other tracks. And to add to that, unfortunately, the track where I used to go closed, and now the only one that I know is here in Lisbon, which is relatively far from my home. Comparing with the other one, it must be around twice the distance. And that track had some problems. I think that it closed, then it reopened by some guys that used to use the track, got together and opened the track for everybody to use, something like that. I don't know exactly, but it seems that right now it's working, and it has championships scheduled in there, so it seems to be working. And besides that, what I'm thinking in starting now, I know about that hobby for a while, but only more recently I've started to really get into it. It's not radio modeling like in radio controlled cars, but modeling itself, so building models of cars and planes and all that stuff, boats, even submarines and tanks from the Second World War and the Vietnam War and all that stuff. I found a site and they have a lot of articles regarding that, especially sorry, give me just a second to pass these cars. Okay, as I was saying, they have especially a lot of World War II planes, and I'm really into World War II planes. And here it is a professional driver not using his indicators. What a great example. As I was saying, World War II planes, and I'm really into them. And I saw a kit in there that was a starter kit. It was labeled as a starter kit. It brought a German plane from World War II, a fighter. It brought the paint and the brush to paint the plane. It has a simple paint scheme, so it makes it easier. And it's relatively cheap. It's like 10 euros, so it's not that much money. I haven't ordered it yet because that site where I saw that all those models is it only sells the items via internet, and I wanted to go to a store to ask for some advice for a newcomer to that hobby. So I wanted to go to a store, and the thing is that this weekend I found a store near my house, so I'm thinking about going there and seeing what models they have, what do they recommend to start with, and all the advices and all that stuff, and see if I can start that in that hobby. I'm really interested. I've never been very good with painting and all that stuff, so I think it should help me also developing those skills, and it should be very interesting, because that's especially World War II planes. I really like them. I really like the design of the plane, especially the bombers. Of course, they are also the more difficult to build than the fighters, but I will get there one day. But yeah, I'm thinking about starting it. So, have you ever done such thing? Do you also have radio-controlled cars? Tell me your experience if you have, if you would like to, if you have any tips. So yeah, just leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed it. And once again, sorry for both the light conditions and the roads, which is not the most beautiful road in here, and I will have to pull over because there is a motorcycle in here. I need to find a gap here. It should be good. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.